Okay, and there we go. And we're live. Welcome to Love and Money Secrets TV. I'm your host, Dame Lillian Walker, and we are diving deep into Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Chapter 14. And I'm so excited. There is so many goodies in this chapter that are going to be revealed and unveiled for you today. So let's get going. So demonstrating and being transparent, living your new reality. When you demonstrate change, you've memorized an internal order that is greater than any environmental care or clue. It's keeping your energy up, staying conscious in a new reality, independent of your body, independent of your environment, and independent of time. How are you going to be when you walk into your life? Remind yourself with your family, at your job, with your children, at lunch tomorrow. Can you maintain this modified state of being? If you can live your life in the same energy that you created it with, then something different should show up in your world. That's the law. When your behaviors match your intentions, when your actions are equal to your thoughts, when you're being someone else, then you are ahead of your time. Your environment is no longer controlling how you think and feel. How you think and feel is controlling your environment. That's greatness, and it's always been with you. When how you appear is who you are free from the enslavement of the past. And when all of the energy is now liberated, the side effect of that freedom is called joy, demonstrating living as the new you. When your internal neurochemical state is so orderly and coherent that no stimulus in your incoherent external world can disrupt who you are being, then your mind and body are now working in harmony. You are now a new being. And by memorizing that state of being, a new personality, your world and your personal reality will begin to reflect your internal changes. When your outward expression of self is equal to your inner self, you are headed to a new destiny. So can you maintain the change in your life so that your body does not return to the same state of mind? So I'm going to stop right here, because oftentimes we think, okay, this is all fine and dandy. You know, your intellectual brain, your intelligence, the actual organ of your brain and the thoughts that it's processing understands this, but that doesn't mean that it knows it. Knows it means that it can actually implement it and actually do it. So sometimes that's where we oftentimes we get stuck. We fail to be able to take a step in the direction of where we really do want to go, but we're not really quite sure what that would look like, or what do we actually have to do to actually get the result from that new change. So basically, one of the things that you are accomplishing by doing the meditation is that you are actually altering your neurochemical state, which is that's a game changer right there and then, because automatically your body's going to feel better when your neurochemistry is more in balance, when it's more neutralized and harmonized. As we have been saying, and I keep on repeating over and over again, and I keep on bringing it to your awareness and your intention, so that you have it cemented in your memory bank and in your neural network, that every time you take deep breaths in meditation or even outside of meditation, just the action of taking 10 deep breaths is now going to give you, instead of just 2 cycles of your cerebral spinal fluid, fluiding or fluidly flowing inside your cerebral spinal column from the base of your column up to your brain, bathing your brain in those salts, those proteins, and that solution, and coming down. Normally, it takes 2 cycles per 24-hour period, but when you do 10 deep breaths, now that's a dozen times that your cerebral spinal fluid has actually cycled through. That's an amazing amount more. Instead of 2, it's up to 12. So it's incredible. So the neurochemistry is going to be altered by this. Your body is alkalized as a result of this. So you are taking away some of the acidity that you have from whatever your diet, from whatever you're inhaling whatever your skin is absorbing that is causing some sort of acidic toxicity in your system. It's being cleansed now just by the simple act that you're doing those 12 breaths. And if you follow the meditations the way Dr. Joe tells you to do them in his guided meditations, you don't just do 12 breaths, you are doing that breathing with intention. That's attention on the inside is intention. So you're bringing your intention to the base of your spine, to the first energy center, the second energy center, the third energy center. Each one of those energy centers, each one of those energy brains that are associated with its corresponding organs are receiving a neurochemical bath, basically. Okay. Then, like I said, the cerebral spinal fluid is traveling up. So you're starting to change not only your neurochemistry, but your entire body balance is going to respond to that. So it's going to predispose and put you in a better state so that you are more receptive to what your intention and focus, whatever it is that you're downloading into your subconscious mind, it's going to be more open and receptive. It's not a hostile environment. It's not going to take as much energy for your body to run itself because it's taking attention away from whatever things that are in dysfunction. Things that are in dis-ease are now being focused. All of the energy in your body right now is focused on this meditation to optimize your body. So it's no wonder that you have this profound feeling of peace when you're done with your meditations. And ultimately, then you're able to receive the outcome that you're seeking. As you're doing this, so the question might be, okay, how does this look in your normal life? If you tend to be more reserved in your day-to-day life and interactions with people, especially as of this broadcast, which happens to be during the eclipse and the Mercury retrograde and all that kind of stuff kind of going on, interplanetarily and so forth. But at this time, a lot of the world is still under quarantine because of the COVID situation and the pandemic. So a lot of people have kind of retreated into their cocoons, if you will. Some of them because they have a natural disposition to being introverted, like myself. I have a predisposition. I'm a natural introvert, even though during this broadcast, you don't see any evidence of it because I'm reading this book, I'm on camera, and I'm sharing with you my experiences. But make no mistakes, I had to conscientiously, with intention, at age 14, make the choice to come out of my shell and to step out of my comfort zone so that I could be here, the person that I am today with you. So you can hear about that in other videos that I'll be doing. I'm talking a little bit more about that actually in my book, The Friendship Oracle. I'm starting to realize that there's some crossover between that book and this work, but because it all has to do with healing ultimately at its root. And it's all, both that book and this work that we are doing is all centered in your heart space, physically and spiritually, emotionally and psychologically, because that affects absolutely everything. And the quicker you recognize, you re-know, because that's what the word recognize means. To anything is to do over. Cognize comes from the word gnosis. That means to know. That's knowledge. So as you recognize, you're re-knowing this. Because make no mistakes, you knew all of this before now, for sure. And when you were a baby and prior to becoming a baby, you knew all of this. And so now you're recognizing this truth that's like, wow, yes, everything is supposed to be centered in a loving space. This is one of the secrets that not only the mystics and the ancients of old knew, but some of the most brilliant minds of our time, like Leonardo da Vinci, knew this. Einstein knew this. And there's so many more. I could give you a laundry list. I could be accused of name dropping, telling you of all the people that have known this, that in order the true secret to success is really anchoring yourself and putting your focus and your attention in your heart space and coming from a place of love, opening That energy center, which is the most powerful energy center that you have, is your heart. And then you open it and you broadcast from that place of love. And then you're intuiting. You are receiving, because you are now aligning all of your energy centers throughout your entire body. You are now more sentient. All of your senses are heightened, which, by the way, I haven't mentioned before, but this also balances your 8 neurosomatic sensory systems of the body so that even they're calibrated, more fine-tuned. It's almost like giving them a really high precision tune-up. So that's why your entire body starts to work. It's optimized, quite literally. So this is exciting stuff. So can you maintain the change in your life so that your body does not return to the same mind? So during this pandemic, you know, you need to get out of your shell. Some of us have been quarantined where you're not allowed to. I've been pretty fortunate. Here in California, we have been able to go out, take a walk around the block, ride our bikes, hike, go to the beach, go to the park, yada, yada. A lot of the stores closed down, so a lot of the stores we couldn't go to. So there's been a great deal of restriction. And even in driving, there was some restriction, not a lot in terms of driving, because you could still pretty much get into your car. But I know that for a lot of friends and family that are in Italy, that's not the case. They were actually locked in their houses, that outside of their property, you couldn't go. You know, you could go to the store, but you had to download papers, you had to fill them out. And then either the police or the military police would actually check your papers to see why did you leave your house? Where are you coming from? Where are you going? What are you doing to, wherever it is that you're going, and how quickly are you going to get back? Because they wanted everybody inside their homes. Imagine that. So when you would look outside, to any street throughout Sicily, like Palermo or Giardini Naxos or Catania or any one of many different places, it was a ghost town. There were no cars driving, no people walking. It's actually pretty eerie looking. That's no longer the case because just a few weeks ago, they opened it back up again, thank God. So they are now still with precautions, but now things are opening up. People can go outside, they can walk, they can talk, they can ride their bikes. But I'm sure there's a certain level or a certain number of people in the population who are like kind of gun shy. It's like, oh, can I trust complete strangers out there? Because you don't know. You can't see on a person's face, or there's no identifier for you to know if somebody is actively contagious with anything. Let's forget about COVID, anything. That's not the only thing that can harm us, disease, bacteria, germ-wise. So the point in case is that with this work, we don't want to be ruled by fear. We can be ruled in a place of love. And the truth of the matter is that when you are in a truly heart coherent, this is part of the beauty of this, when you are in a heart coherent and brain coherent state, your immune system is increased, because we have actual tests. Dr. Joe, God bless him, he has actually tested in the 7-day advanced retreats where we are actually in his monastery. He's actually tested and proven that IgA levels are through the roof in just doing these meditations over 3-4 days, let alone doing them over the entire 7 days. So as you've been doing these meditations, you've been boosting your immunoglobulin levels, which is what protects you. It's the most powerful thing against, it's the most powerful immunosuppressant that we have that protects you from pretty much anything and everything. So you can't get sick. You can't get colds. You can't get germs. You can't get viruses. You can't get bacteria. You just become immune resistant because your IgA levels are up. Another side benefit to this work is that your telomere length actually lengthens. By your telomere length lengthening, it lengthens your lifespan, because now your DNA is replicating more accurately, since your telomere length has actually lengthened over just a few days. I mean, it really is exciting. This is hands-on. There's hard evidence to show this. This is not just because I say it, because Dr. Joe says this. Says that no, his whole team of doctors and scientists tested blood tests, DNA tests, brain scans, heart scans, the works. Rest assured, if you want to look up the information, Google it. Check on his website, check on his YouTube videos. Some of the information is, in fact, in these books. It's also in the back of the book. But this is what is so exciting, because my friends and gems, you have cutting edge information here right at your fingertips. So can you maintain that change in your life so that your body does not return to the same mind, back to being withdrawn? Since emotions are stored in the subconscious memory system, it is your job to consciously keep your body aligned to your new mind so that you're going to keep your body aligned to your new mind so that nothing in your environment emotionally hooks you back to the old reality. So you must memorize your new self and insist on being it so that nothing in your present reality can move you from it. Remember that when you get up from your meditation, if you did it properly, you will advance from thinking to being. Once you are in that state of being, you are more prone to do and think equal to who you are being. So I want you to think about that, because you have your free will. It's your choice. Sometimes things aren't as they appear to be. This is, and we have a lot of that, probably more than ever, going on right now. And you may think, or you may be doubting maybe that you might be able to do this. And the reality is, yeah, you can do it. You just have to do it, just like brushing your teeth. I had an incident about a week ago where someone actually thought that myself and my daughter were in a place that we weren't. We were miles away from that place. And they were literally accusing us of being in a place that was under quarantine where you needed permission to go into this particular pool. And I said, we're at work, we're miles away. So no, we're nowhere close to, it happened to be, in a specific location. I don't want to get into the details, but it's like, no, we're not anywhere even close to there. I suggest that you get up and walk up to those people that you think are myself and my daughter, and you ask them for identification, and you'll see that that's not us. So make no mistakes, we're not there. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We thought, like, I go, it's okay. I go, from a distance, I could see how I could easily be confused, with someone else, depending on if you're farsighted, you're nearsighted, and so forth. So no harm, no foul. So sometimes things aren't as they appear to be. And the truth is right now that you're probably safer, especially being equipped with this powerful knowledge. You're safer than you were prior to having this information and prior to your implementing this knowledge. And that, my friends and gems, is good news. So let's move on to the next section. So to demonstrate is to beat it all day long. So in a nutshell, demonstration is living as if your prayers have already been answered. So whatever it is that you're trying to change right now, whether you're trying to change a mood, whether you're trying to change a state of health, maybe you have some sort of disease, a syndrome, a chronic condition that creates a certain pain, you have to make, believe, and behave as if it's already answered. And you're like, well, how do I do that? What would that even look like? It's like I'm lying to myself. No, you're reconditioning your body to a new mind. So what would that look like? So let's say that you have arthritis, just to pick something. If you have arthritis and you're still feeling the restriction from the arthritis, you can say, no, I no longer have arthritis. I used to have arthritis. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy and so excited. I no longer have arthritis. Every day and every way. It's just more and more of the arthritis is dissolving, and, it's like it's dissipating. It's just erasing and just going away, and I'm feeling better. And notice where in your body that you don't have arthritis. And it's like, okay, I don't have it on my feet, and I don't have it, whatever parts of your body that don't have it, I would focus on those parts of the body that don't have it. Let's say that you only have arthritis in an elbow and a hand. So go, see, I don't have any arthritis in this hand. I don't have it in my left elbow. I don't have it in my shoulders. Go through all your joints and verify and give gratitude and appreciation to the fact that you don't have arthritis on all those different parts. Just the same, if you're suffering a cancer in some place in the body, wherever it might be, I would focus on the fact that, hey, 98% or 99% of my body doesn't have, the cancer. So most of you is healthy. You just have a little part where you have a tumor. Maybe it's a golf ball sized tumor. Maybe it's much smaller. Maybe it's the size of a grapefruit. Maybe I don't know. Whatever your circumstances are, the fact remains that the majority of your body is still healthy, and you have more good cells than you have bad cells. And you just have to have gratitude and appreciation that your system is strong enough to overcome and purge whatever is there, and it's starting to dissolve. And you can actually, in your meditation, you can actually see whatever it is. If I'm just saying a tumor, if you have a tumor in a part of your body, you can actually visualize that in your meditation, and you could see it as it dissolving. You could see it as you grabbing it from wherever it is in your body and throwing it into a fiery pit where the fire just completely burns it and dissolves it, and it's gone. And then you're commanding your brain to have your autonomic nervous system create whatever combination of 140,000 chemicals that are required to upregulate your DNA so that your body is optimized, and that you are now, again, thankful for this perfect state of health where you're feeling more energized, you have more mental clarity, you have a little chutzpah maybe in your giddy up, as they say, in your step when you get up and walk, and you are just thank you. And you are now conditioning the body to a new mind. Now your body has to catch up to your brain, because your brain is like, oh, this already happened. Because she's grateful and she's giving thanks and she's starting to feel better. So, okay, that old condition doesn't exist anymore. Okay, got it. So we got the instructions now. So now the body has to catch up to the brain, and the brain's like, yeah, this already passed. This already happened in the past. So we got to make these grooves, these neural networks and the neural synapses of the brain. We got to forge them deeper. We need to kind of, create some algorithms to speed this up, because this is already in the past. We got to do this over and over. And then the body's going to catch up faster and faster and faster as you do that, as you adopt this new mindset, because it is a new mindset that you're going to adopt. Okay, so to demonstrate is to be it all day. So in other words, if you're going to be it all day long, you're not just going to do it during the meditation. You're going to get up from that meditation. You're going to go, yes, I got the order in. I've got this. This is what I do. I know how to do this. My gosh, I'm so excited. I don't know when I'm going to get, surprises. I'm going to get these serendipitous signs. The universe is going to mirror back to me and going to show me signs that I'm on the right track. I don't know if I'm going to get a feather, if I'm going to get a Morpho blue butterfly. I don't know what it is, but you'll know when you get the signs. Trust me, there are signs, and you're like, oh, I don't need anybody to verify this. I know that this is a sign. If I have any question, I know that I can ask for another sign, and the universe will deliver to you another sign. So in a nutshell, demonstration is living as if your answers, as if your prayers have already been answered. It is rejoicing in your new life with a new level of expectation. Highlight that word, expectation. You have to expect it. And excitement. Highlight excitement too. It is reminding yourself that you must be in the same state of mind and body that you were in when you created your new ideal. You cannot create a new personality in your meditation and then live as the old self for the rest of the day. No, it would be like eating a really healthy meal in the morning and then spending the rest of the day eating and snacking on junk food. Mm-mm. So you can't do the meditation and be in gratitude and appreciation during the meditation, and then you go back to being grumpy and woe is me and nothing ever works for me and oh my gosh, you're stuck in the negative mindset. No, you have to embrace the work that you did during the meditation, and it needs to carry through post meditation too, because now you have the excited expectation. You are looking for clues. You know that you're going to be pleasantly surprised with some pretty good stuff. So in order for a new experience in reality to happen to you, You have to match your behavior with your goal. You align your thoughts and your deeds, and you must make choices that are in fact consistent with your new state of being. When you demonstrate, you physically apply what you have mentally rehearsed, getting the body involved and making it do what the mind has learned. So make no mistakes. Your mind already learned this in meditation. Your body now needs to catch up to your mind, and it has to learn, it has to be reconditioned, be rewired to catch up with your brain. Therefore, in order for you to see the signals unfolding in your life, you must live and be in the same energy that you created from. Simply put, if you want the universe to begin to talk back to you in new and unusual ways, the energy and the mind that you demonstrate in your life must be the same as the energy and mind of your meditation as that new ideal. This is when you are connected with or entangled to the energy you created in a dimension beyond space and time. And this is how you attract the new event in your life. And when both aspects of the self are aligned, the you living in the now life is the same being you constructed during your meditation. You are being the future you that existed as that potential in the quantum field. And when the new self that you created in your meditation is the exact same electromagnetic signature as the future you that you are being in your life, you are unified to that new destiny. So when you are physically being one with the future you, now you're being one with the future you in the now moment that you dreamed about, you will experience the bounty of the new reality. There will be a response from the great order. So look forward to feedback. Yes, sirree. You're going to get feedback from the universe. So the feedback you experience in your life is the result of matching the state of energy of your creative process to the state of being energy of your demonstrative process. It is being the being you invented in this particular plane of demonstration. You have to live in that line of time in present physical reality. Thus, if you maintain that unified state of mind and body the entire day, something different should show up in your life. And what type of feedback should you begin to witness? Look forward to synchronicities. Pause button here, even though there's only a comma, not a period here. Look forward to synchronicities. That alone should make you excited about the day. You're like, oh my gosh, I have something exciting and unexpected that's going to appear before me. It's like a treasure hunt every day. You have this eager anticipation that you have new, cool, and exciting things that are you're becoming aware of them. It's fabulous. Moving on. So look forward to synchronicities, to opportunities, to coincidences, to flow, to effortless change, to better health, insights, revelations, mystical experiences, and new relationships, to name just a few. New feedback then will inspire you to keep doing what you've been doing, because of course that feedback is going to encourage you. When external feedback occurs as a result of your internal efforts, you will naturally correlate whatever you were doing inside with what happened outside. This is a novel moment in and of itself. It basically shows evidence that you are now living by the quantum law. You become astonished that the feedback that you are experiencing is the direct result of the internal workings of your mind and emotions. So when you correlate what you did in the implicit world with the explicit manifestation, you're going to pay attention and remember whatever you did earlier to produce that effect. And you will do it again, of course. And when you can connect your inner world with the effects of the outer world, you are now causing an effect instead of living by cause and effect. You are creating reality. Now here's the test. Can you be the same person in your external environment that you were being in your internal one while you're meditating? Can you be greater than your present environment, which is connected to your past personality, memories, and associations? Are you able to seize your routine reactions to the same situations? Have you conditioned your body and molded your mind to be ahead of the present reality in front of you? This is why, and this is the reason why we meditate, to become someone else in our lives. So demonstrate the new you plan into the equation of your life. So remind yourself that during the day, you will keep your energy up as the new you. Here you are to prompt yourself to stay conscious at different times in your waking hours. You can prime yourself to place little notes in consciousness on the canvas of your life. So for example, I want to give thanks for different aspects of my life while I take my morning shower. I have to stay on track while I drive to work, so I'm going to be joyous during the whole trip. How will I be as this new ideal when I see my boss? Let me remind myself to take a moment at lunch and remember, who do I want to be? When I see my kids this evening, I will be elevated and abundant energy and will truly connect. I want to take a minute while I get ready for bed and remind myself of who I'm being. So I'm going to stop right here before we go on to the next section, because the next section has to do with end of the day questions. And so if you're a parent, I want to not only commend you, but I also want to challenge you and give you some ideas that will work. And of course, I hadn't read these books at the time, but these are some of the things that I did when I was, as I've been raising my kids. And oftentimes parents, you have a long day at work, you come at the end of the day. When you come at the end of the day and you come together with your kids, oftentimes that's not the end of the day. You still have a whole other job, which is a job of taking care of them, preparing dinners, tidying up the household, getting all your to-do lists all organized for the next day, managing whatever needs to be managed with whatever number of kids that you have, if you have any employees, if you have subcontractors and so forth that you're dealing with in your business, plus whatever clients, you're sorting, sifting, and separating all of that, trying to get your hands around that and organizing it for the days, week, months to come. And you still have household activities. And then you have to remember to put yourself on the list, of course. So you have yourself, your person, where perhaps you may also want to make time to work out. So there's a lot of things that are going on. And because you have so much going on, sometimes we become mindless. And when we walk in and we first greet our family, we might say hi and immediately start firing off orders. And instead of coming in with what I call a little bit more grace, you come in and be genuinely joyous at seeing your child who hasn't seen you all day long. Or if you have a spouse, genuinely be joyous to see that spouse that you haven't seen all day long. Or if maybe you don't have kids, maybe you don't have a spouse, but maybe you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, coming together after, whatever length of time that it's been that you haven't seen each other for a while. And just saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you because I haven't seen you all day, or I haven't seen you since this morning. Or maybe you haven't seen them since the day before, depending on, if they're one of the special care workers where they work 24-hour shifts, maybe more than 24 hours since you've seen them. And so when you come in that place, and rather than say, oh, I need you to do this, this, and that, and it's like, oh my gosh, you forgot to do that. It's like, why didn't you do? It's like, no, stop for a second and be a human being and connect heart to heart. And why don't you just say, oh my God, I'm just so happy to see you? That doesn't have to be something that you just do at the beginning of a relationship. That really should be something that you do throughout an entire relationship, in my opinion. And it can be done. And it would make you feel good to do that. And you can also express that to the other party that you would love. Of course, somebody's going to want to reciprocate that because they feel good when they see you too. And so that's my 2 cents. I just wanted to share that with you because I found that it put my kids in a much better mood if I came in first with, love and appreciation. And I'm so glad because I haven't seen them all day, as opposed to right off the bat, oh, you didn't do this and you didn't hand in this homework. And let's put that to one side because that's not the most important thing. It's important. It has to be addressed. But I don't want to start off with that. I want to start with love first. Then, believe it or not, your kids are more receptive to hear from you because you're coming in with this more warm, more loving, more gracious space. And now they're positioned in the proper place to now receive. It's like, okay, now let's go over. Okay, now you can ask them questions. Why they did this or didn't do that, or why they haven't done this chore or that chore or whatnot. Okay, so now we're going to go into end of the day questions. These questions are a simple way to review your display of the new self when the day is over. Before we go on to that, I wanted to say, because he mentioned in the last section that we read, how because we're reconditioning our body to a new mind, and there's certain goals, we have certain intentions, right? So I would encourage you to take a lip pencil or some sort of grease stick and take it to the mirror in your bathroom and just write on there whatever it is that you are focusing on. Put it there so that you have that as a daily reminder. One of the things I will share with you that I actually have on my mirror, that I actually wrote it in red lipstick, was arigato money. You're like, what's arigato money? Arigato is the word in Japanese for thank you. And I saw this person on YouTube that shared the principle of arigato money, which is thankful, great gratitude money, which every time you pay a bill, every time there's an outflow of money in any way, shape, or form, but especially for bills and expenses and things like that, that you bless the money with gratitude, arigato money. And when you do that, you're continuing the flow of money, because just as money comes in, there's a certain amount that needs to go out, once money comes in, and you're blessing that money so that money is blessed in the hands of the recipient, and that money finds its way multiplied. It comes back to you. And it's a practice. It's a mental attitude so that you're sending good energy with that money, because money is just a unit of energy. It's an assigned value that we give for a task performed. And then in compensation for that, we are given a unit of energy, which is called currency, which in America, it's $1. And that's all money is. And so if you start to adopt that, you're going to see how things start to flourish and how they start to come back to you. So whatever it is, write it. You can go to the 99-cent store and pick, if you're a guy, buy a colored pencil from the makeup department, spend $1 or $2, and now you can write on your mirror whatever it is that you're focusing on. Okay? If you do that, please write in the comments below. I would love to hear about that. So these are the questions that you're going to be reviewing at the end of the day. So how did I do today? When did I fall from grace and why? So who was it I reacted to and where? Pause button. So did you have somebody that triggered you and then I'm assuming if you're hot-tempered that you popped off at them, or maybe you had a snide remark, or you were snippety with them, or you maybe gave a cutting response back to that person? Because those are all egoic responses, as you all now know. Or did you recognize that person is reacting obviously out of their ego? You didn't allow them to trigger you, and you said, wait, I'm going to hit the pause button. As you're listening to them, you're slowing down your heart rate. You're slowing down your breath. You're slowing down your brain waves, because you want to change this unwanted situation to a wanted situation. You want to neutralize it. You're like, no, I'm not going to allow you to trigger me. And that garbage that you're trying to throw, that energy in this direction, no, I don't accept it. I don't receive it. So it's just going to slide right off of me. No, I'm not going to give my power away, because if I act in anger or I'm snippety back, then I give my power away to that person. They don't even know that they're being an energy vampire. If instead I can just stay neutral, I can retain all my energy. They don't get to grab any of my energy. They don't get to push any of my buttons, and it stops the cycle. And you can choose to just smile, say nothing at all and excuse yourself, or say, I'm sorry, I need to go to the bathroom. You remove yourself from that space and time, and now you're in a different space and time in the bathroom. Whether you need to go to the bathroom or not makes no sense. No one's going to stop you from going to the bathroom, which is why I like to tell people, if you find somebody in your space that's behaving that way, say, I got to go to the bathroom. Excuse me, got to go to the bathroom. Just whatever, I got to go. Run to the bathroom. No one's going to fish you out of the bathroom. Close the door, lock yourself in there for however long till you feel that you're centered, and then come out when you're ready. So who was it I reacted to and where? Where did I go unconscious? How can I do better the next time that happens? Okay, another thing is, in meditations, you can actually tell your brain to tell your subconscious mind that the next time you have that type of interaction, you are going to remember to hit the pause button and to slow down your breath, slow down your heart rate, slow down your brain waves, so that as you're there, you're going into that theta state, because you're going to morph that energy. And that way you'll remember. So before you go to bed, it might be a nice idea to contemplate where it was during your day that you lost your new ideal. Once you can see the obvious place in your life that stimulated you to fall into oblivion, ask yourself these simple questions. If this situation happened again, how would I do it differently? And what piece of knowledge or philosophical understanding could I apply to the circumstance if it arose again? Once you can come up with a solid answer and attend to it with a bit of thoughtfulness, you will be mentally rehearsing a new element that rounds out another part of you. You will be putting the new neural network into your brain to prepare you for the event at some future time. This little move will assist you in upgrading and refining the new model of the new and improved you. You then can add that into your morning and your evening meditation. So being transparent, going from the inner to the outer. So remember, you're doing this in meditation on the inside of you, and now you're going to bring it to the outside world. So when you are transparent, how you appear is who you are, and your internal thoughts and feelings are reflected in your external environment. So having achieved this state, your life and your mind are synonymous, and it is your final relationship between you and all of your outward creations. This means that your life reflects your mind in all arenas. You are your life, and your life is a reflection of you. If, as quantum physics suggests, the environment is an extension of the mind, this is when your life reorganizes itself to reflect the new mind. So let's take a second and reread that. Did you catch what it said there? It says, if, as quantum physics suggests, the environment is an extension of the mind. So whatever it is that you hold inside of your mind, your outward environment is going to reflect back to you whatever it is that you have inside your head. That's why the Essenes talked about the world being our mirror. If you don't know about that, Greg Braden, who is one of Dr. Joe's colleagues, talks at great length about this mirroring effect. This is this is something that is actually quantifiable in physics, biology, etc. In fact, I met back in 2000, I don't really remember exactly what year it was, but I think it was like either 14, 15, or 16. There was Dr. Sai Tabibzadeh. I actually had him on the Bottom Line Show live. He owns a lab called Frontiers in Bioscience. He also has one of the largest repositories of medical papers and scientific white papers from over, I can't remember how many thousand universities and medical schools throughout the world. And he talked about how just 6 months before as of that broadcast, because that was on my radio show, they had just discovered the mirror neuron, which they also nicknamed the miracle neuron, because mirror neurons mirror each other. It's fascinating because now hard science is proving what the Essenes 2,000-3,000 years ago knew about. Incredible. And so this work is closely integrated in applying these principles. So transparency is a state of true empowerment in which you have realized, made real, your dream of personal transformation. You have gained wisdom from experience and are greater than the environment and your past reality. So the telltale sign of becoming transparent is that you do not have many over analytical or critical thoughts. You wouldn't want to think that way. It would take you away from your present state, since the side effect of transparency is true joy, more energy, and freedom of expression. And any thought that is connected to an ego drive would lower the elevated feeling within you. So, highlight in your book, the telltale sign of becoming transparent is that you do not have many overly analytical or critical thoughts. Now, as you all know, this is easier said than done. But the more you do it, the better you become at it. And you just have to keep doing it. It's called a practice for a reason. It's because you're going to practice this for the remainder of your natural lives. So you just keep doing it. And when you notice, like I've noticed that in certain aspects of my life, I still have overly analytical, critical thinking thoughts. And I need to remind myself, feel, don't think. Don't overly think, don't overly analyze, don't overly, don't get so caught up in your head. Just stay in that heart space. And as you start to recognize, okay, this area of my life, that area of my life, this area of my life, you start to integrate it all. And there might be still places where you might be overly critical and analytical thinking. That's fine. When you realize it, that's because you're awakened. You're awakened, you're aware, you're like, oh yeah, right here. I need to reel it back in here. I need to be more in my heart space, feeling centered, keep in the heart and brain coherent space and not overly analyze. If you overly analyze and be critical and judgmental and overly controlling with your analytical thinking, you paralyze yourself ultimately because the overanalysis creates a paralysis. So you need to let that go. The fact that you're aware shows great strides. You're like, wow, I'm on the right track. I'm even recognizing that. And that's pretty cool that I recognize that. I'm like, okay, you might need somebody else to help you with a particular area of your life, whatever that area might be. It might be finances. It might be just business. It might be personal relationships, whatever the case might be. It doesn't matter. The point is you recognize it and you're like, okay, yeah, I need to, or you might just need to bring it into, continue in your meditation, bringing it up and releasing and letting it go and rewiring your mind to a new body. Okay, so it would take you away from your present state, since the side effect of transparency is true joy, more energy, and freedom of expression. Any thought that is connected to an ego drive would lower the elevated feeling within you. So isn't that cool to think that once you are living in this heart space, you're going to have the side effect of this transparency is joy, more energy. Who doesn't want more energy? Who doesn't want more joy? Who doesn't want more freedom of expression? That in of itself is liberating. And any thought that is connected to an ego drive would lower the elevated feeling. You don't want to lower, you want to up the elevated emotions, up your vibe, up your frequency. So there will come a moment when your life begins to unfold with new and wonderful events. There will come a moment that you will be in awe, wonder, and utter wakefulness when you realize it was your mind that created them. In your rapture, you will look back from this vantage point at your entire life and you will not want to change anything. Okay, I'm going to hit the huge pause button here because this is so true for me. I am going to say that even though I went through a very painful divorce and I went through a painful breakup, after my divorce, I had a relationship for 2.5 years, and that was terribly painful. I wouldn't change anything for the world. I would do everything that happened. I would do it all over again because no experience is wasted. Everything that has happened to me from birth until this moment has brought me to this point in time where I am here with you at this moment in time, sharing this book with you, reading it with you, reviewing it, sharing my insights, trying to give you shortcuts, insights that I've had so that I can help collapse the time frames, collapse the time that it's going to take for you to get the effect and the benefit from applying this so that you get results sooner rather than later. So I wouldn't trade that for the world, because who knows where I'd be if any of those things were changed now. So to me, every blood, sweat, and tear that I faced, all of the pain, all the headache, all the challenges, all the mountains that I had to climb, all the struggle. There was a lot of struggle. Yeah, there was a lot of growth that had to take place. I had to go through a great deal of personal growth, but apparently it's exactly what I needed to get to today. And I'm just scratching the surface. I don't have it all figured out. I'm just getting started. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. You still have the other half of your life left. So you're just getting started. Now that you finally are at this point where you're starting to have these revelations, these insights, this awareness, you have these tools, you've been given the key to how this all works. You're recognizing, you're becoming aware, you're understanding, you're realizing, oh my gosh, guess what, my friends and gems? The second half of your life is going to be spectacular. And now, not just happenstance, it's going to be intentional, on purpose. You're going to know how to create these incredible outcomes for yourself. It's really quite exciting. It doesn't mean that you know it all. No. You're still going to have unwanted things that are going to present themselves, but you're going to know how to be the alchemist who is going to transmute that by focusing your attention on those potential waveforms and turning them into particles. So let's keep moving on here. So wonder and utter wakefulness when you realize it was your mind that created them. In your rapture, you will look back from this vantage point at your entire life and you will not want to change anything. You will not regret any action or feel bad about whatever has happened to you, because in that moment of your manifestation, it will all make sense to you. You will see how your past got you to this great state. As the result of your efforts, the consciousness of the greater mind has begun to be your conscious mind. Its nature is becoming your nature. You naturally become more divine. This is who you really are. This is your natural state of being, equally as the invisible giver of life begins to move through you. You will feel more like yourself than you have in a long time. I'm going to say that is so absolutely true. I had somebody in Hawaii who recently, I was talking to them about this, and they were saying, this is the first time in years that I have actually felt like myself. And I said to them, that is exactly how you know that you are on the right track. They have had more peace. Despite all of this that's been going around in our world, they have felt more centered with themselves. They have felt more peaceful. They felt more like their true being was finally like relaxed enough to come out and come out to play. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so awesome. And it didn't even take them that long to get to that point. Holy cow, it just took a few weeks. And the same is true for you. So those traumas that produced emotional scars knocked your true personality from its center. You became more complicated, more polarized, more divided, more inconsistent, and more predictable. When you unmemorize those survival emotions that naturally lower the frequency of the mind and the body, you are lifted to a higher electromagnetic expression, and a greater frequency is now turning you on. So think about that. A greater electromagnetic frequency is actually turning your body on. And you free yourself by unlocking the doors to make room for a greater power to become you. Finally, it is you, and you are on it. You are one, and you feel a coherent energy called love. It is the within that then manifests an unconditional state. So once you connect to once you connect to and drink from the well of consciousness, you might experience a real paradox. It is quite possible that there will come such a sense of personal wholeness that you will find it difficult to want anything. This dichotomy was a veritable realization for me. Wants and desires come from lacking something, someone, someplace, or sometime. In being truly connected to this consciousness, I have had moments that it was hard to think about anything else because I felt so great. I felt so complete that any thought that would take me away from it would not be worth it. And it would not be worth my moving from this place. So the irony is that once you arrive at this space to create from, you no longer need anything. Pay close attention. You no longer need anything because the lack and emptiness from which you desired those things has been eliminated, replaced by a feeling of wholeness. As a result, you want to linger in the feeling of balance, love, and you really do feel it here in your heart, love and coherence. So this, I feel, is the beginning of true unconditional love. Feeling a sense of love and awe for life without needing anything from outside of us is freedom. It is no longer being attached to external elements. It is a feeling that is so coherent that to judge another or to emotionally react to life and change from this state is to compromise self. This is when the greater consciousness that we are all connected to begins to move out of us. And we begin to express this through us. We move from human toward divine. We become more like it. We become more loving, more mindful, more powerful, more generous, more intentional, more kind and healthier. That is the mind. Something else begins to occur too. When you feel elevated and joyful, you will feel so wonderful that you will want to share the feeling of what you're experiencing with someone. Listen to that again, my friends and gems. When you feel elevated and joyful, you will feel so wonderful that you will want to share the feeling of what you're experiencing with someone. It's no fun to live life when the beauty, the gifts, the love, the joy that life is bringing to you, if it's just for you, it's not the same as if you can share it with another person. Friend, a family member, a loved one. It becomes a richer experience when you're able to share what you have with others. It's what makes life go around. So, and how do you share such great feelings? You give, you think. I feel so superb and uplifted that I want you to feel the way I feel. So here is a gift. In fact, friends and gems, that's what motivated me to read this book with you, the Becoming Supernatural book, which you see over here to my left. And this book, Becoming, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. If you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've read other books because as I've learned and as I have felt this incredible love and joy, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to share this with others too. And so here is a gift. So, and you will begin to give so that others can feel the gift that you're expressing from within. You are selfless. Imagine a world like that. Imagine. There's a video that it's been a while that it's been impressed upon me that I need to share with you guys. Probably after this broadcast, I'm just going to, even though it's late, I'm going to go ahead and just record it so at least I have the footage. But in that video, what I'm going to share with you is the the ULUCUT formula. ULUCUT formula. And it's unconditional love with unconditional truth with unconditional communication. That's why it's the ULUCUT. And when you have unconditional love with unconditional communication and unconditional truth, you are creating a safe space between two human beings. because that's one of the things that I've learned over the years. I have one of the great gifts that was given to me at 18 was the beautiful, incredible friendship with my very best friend. And one of the things that I have with her that I'm able to have with just a couple other people as well is that, we weren't able to language this until, again, just a few years ago. And I spoke briefly about it on my radio show program, and I've told quite a few people about it. But it seems like right now more than ever, I'm having a lot of people that are calling for this too, and it's coming up a lot in conversations as I'm bringing it up here too. When it comes to love, when it comes to communication, just as you inhale, you must exhale. That is at our very core a universal principle of life. Our life is not just made of us inhaling, of just taking, or of just receiving or giving. You can't just take and receive or just give. You have to take and give, receive and give. Inhale, exhale. That's the flow. You can't interrupt that flow. Love is the same way. When you give love, it needs to be received on the other end, and then it needs to be flowed back. And then now it's your turn to receive it. And then you can't hold it in. You have to exhale. You have to share that love back. And when you have a space of communication where you can share that energy with, so that energy isn't stagnant, and it's not circling this way, it's not circling counterclockwise, it's actually a spheric energy that pulsates in and out like this, as it inhales, as it's given and received, and as it's exhaled, inhaled and exhaled. But you do this in a space where it's a safe, sacred space between two beings, and you set up this space where you can communicate unconditionally without any rights or wrongs, no taboos, no criticism, no blame. Again, I'll be doing a video where we're going to go into this a lot deeper, but this is something that you can actually set up the parameters of the boundaries of your friendship. It could be a platonic friendship, especially a platonic friendship that is becoming closer, more connected to you. You might want to have a conversation about this and say, listen, I just learned about this, and I'd like to have this agreement with you where we agree to come into this space, because nobody wants to be judged. No one wants to be criticized. No one wants to be looked down upon. We all want grace. We all want a space where you can truly be you. I think it's especially important between lovers, between a boyfriend, girlfriend, between, again, when you have a love interest, to be able to express yourself that way so unconditionally and know that the other person is doing the same, and that it's safe for you to just let your hair down and to be you, and to allow yourself to connect at a deeper level with that person because you genuinely want to connect with them and they genuinely want to connect with you. That's like love on steroids to me. That is like a bliss state that you can't even begin to imagine. Which, interestingly enough, when I can only speak from personal experience, and my March 22nd mystical experience that took place, I actually ended up traveling to the sixth dimension. And part of the beauty of that sixth dimension was that this dynamic was present. It was there in the sixth, the seventh, and the eighth dimension. It was, they knew completely who I was. There was no hiding anything. They knew all of me. But it was love like you have no idea, like nothing I have ever felt before. I thought, surely, and the exact words in my head was, surely there can be no greater love than this. This is so extraordinary. It's so bliss-filled. It was just so magnanimous, and it just inspired so much awe and just gratitude, and it was so humbling at the same time. And I knew the sixth dimensional beings that were there. I knew their heart space. I knew that there was a safety and there was like no judgment, no criticism, no blame, no admonishment, no reprimanding. It was just this beautiful, embracing love in all its glory. I mean, My words are a paltry, falling short attempt to try to describe and convey to you how it actually felt, because I felt it throughout my entire body. But I think that was there to mirror to me what is possible for us to bring from that dimension down to this dimension. And we can have that with other beings. In fact, like I said, I've had that since I was 18 with my best friend, who's a girl. And I know that I can have that, with other people. I've had it with a couple other people as well. And someday I hope to have that with my romantic partner. And it is possible. There's no question whatsoever. That's obviously something I'm creating in my meditations, and it's unfolding. It's coming to pass. So moving on here. So if, however, you can fashion a new reality from this internal order of wholeness, you must now know that you will be creating from a state of being and consciousness that is no longer separate from whatever it is that you desire. You are in absolute oneness with your creation. And if you can slip into it naturally and forget about everything that is tied to the old you, you will feel such a sense of exuberance that you will begin to know that the creation you are focusing on is yours. It will feel like hitting a tennis ball in the sweet spot, or parallel parking without mirrors within inches of the curb, or hitting that golf. Like if you're hitting that golf ball, I love that crisp sound when as soon as you hit that, the metal or your wood just hits it. It's so satisfying, the sound of the wood or the iron just hitting it and just slices the ball and it just goes down the fairway. It's a crisp, satisfying feeling. And this is very similar to that. So this is how I end my daily meditation, and I offer it to you as a suggestion. So now close your eyes. We're going to close our eyes, everybody together, close our eyes. Become more aware that there's an intelligence that is within you and all around you. Remember that it is real. Contemplate that this consciousness is noticing you and is aware of your intentions. Recall that it is a creator that exists beyond space and time. In your journey past the cravings of the body and the nuances of the ego mind, you have made it to this final step. So if in fact this consciousness is real and it exists, ask for a sign to let you know that you made contact with it. Say to the creator, if I emulated you in any way as a creator today, send me a signal in the form of feedback in my world to let me know that you were noticing my efforts, and bring it in a way that I least expect. That wakes me up from this dream and leaves no doubt that it has come from you, so that I am inspired to do this again tomorrow. So let me remind you of what I stated in the chapter on the quantum. If the feedback comes to you in a way that you could have expected or predicted, then it's nothing new. Resist the temptation to ascribe novelty and unpredictability to what you know deep in your soul to be familiar. So you got to divorce yourself from what is familiar and say, the way I've been doing things and things that are predictable. No, you have to venture out into the unpredictable. You have to make the unpredictable your new familiar. So you're going to condition your mind to say, okay, the unpredictable, the unexpected, the signs, the serendipity, the wonders, the surprises, the wonderful manifestations, that is now my new familiar. That is my now new familiar. In your new life, you must be startled and in a sense taken unaware, not by what came to you, but by how it came to you, how it came about. So when you experience surprise, you wake up from the dream, and the novelty of whatever it is that's happening to you is now so thrilling that it captures all of your attention. You are now lifted out of your normal feelings. To leave no doubt means it has to be so cool and fun that you know that what you are doing is actually working. You want to know that this unusual event is coming from the greater mind and that it can't be anything else. Okay, I'm going to stop here because we are at the magical number 111. It's been fun that you tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Make sure you write whatever comments, questions, concerns. Please hit the like button, just because it would give me added joy to know that I have one more like on this channel. So hit the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Hit that notification bell, wham, so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. And tomorrow we are going to finish chapter 14, but there's goodies after chapter 14. So make sure you tune in, tap in, turn on to the following episodes. All right. And for now, ciao for now. Magic number, gateway number 11, like the 2 L's in the middle of my name, Lillian. Gateway numbers, no coincidence. It's a God incidence. Ciao for now.